Hello everyone, my name is Michelle Skłodowski, I'm COO and co-founder at BotFriends, and I would like to start this keynote with two little questions. The first one is, how many of you have actually developed a chatbot or voice assistant or were involved in this process? Raise your hand. Well, that's quite a lot. The second question is, how many of you have developed a chatbot or were involved in that was actually live in production for more than 6 months? Okay, still a lot of hands, but not as many as before. We believe that at the moment there are still too many chatbots that are still in the proof of concept phase and really don't make it into production. And this keynote will be about why is that, so why are so many companies struggling to really bring chatbots into production, really scale their initiatives, and how a perfect setup could actually be to fulfill that. So we believe at BotFriends that there are three main problems why chatbots and virtual assistants stay in POC stage. We've been working with big enterprises for the last 3 years, developing individual chatbot solutions and really seeing what the problems and challenges are. So the first problem that we think is chatbot operations. The second one is the interaction between departments and IT, and last but not least, technology choices. And in this keynote, I will go into detail with every problem that we've seen, where the problem really lays, and how it can actually be solved. So the first one is chatbot operations, but what exactly is chatbot operations? It basically is the phase that begins after the chatbot is released. So once you actually plan to go live, the problem is that companies don't really think about the resources and the processes that need to be established to actually operate the chatbot successfully. So we're talking about having KPIs and goals and really tools to measure it. What do you want to achieve with your chatbot, and how are you actually measuring if your chatbot or your virtual assistant is a success? And this also results in really a short-term and long-term improvement. You need to think about how you are going to basically strategically long-term improve your chatbot and also short-term. When it comes to long-term improvement, we want to decide, is there a new channel that we need to integrate, other languages that are important to also integrate, or are some technologies not working as I expected it to? But really more importantly is the short-term improvement. This is really the training and optimizing of the chatbot. So there really need to be people, responsible people and resources who take care of the chatbot's content on a weekly or even on a daily basis, depending on how much traffic the chatbot receives. To actually fulfill that, we definitely need to set up a successful conversational AI team. So when it comes to a team, there are a lot of roles that we already know from different other technology projects. So we need a product owner, we need someone who's specialized in UX, in user testing, but also in data security. However, we believe that there are two roles that are extremely important when it comes to launching conversational AI in companies. And this is, on the one hand, human agents. So human agents are responsible to really take care of the users when the chatbot didn't know the answer. So you really need to make sure to have resources and agents who can escalate conversations when the chatbot cannot answer at that moment. And the second role are content managers, and we also sometimes call them intent managers. Content managers are the experts of the chatbot's content. These are the specialists from the departments that actually have all the expertise and knowledge the virtual assistant should also have one day. And those people should be responsible to really train the chatbot on a daily basis to review what users are writing, what content needs to be added, and generally what needs to be changed, because they are the expertise. So it's not about developers and product owners that should really maintain the chatbot. It's really about the content managers, and departments need to understand to really establish these roles. Now, there's another problem that we've seen quite a lot at many companies, and that's the interaction between departments and IT. When I talk about departments, I basically mean different departments like after sales, customer service, HR, for example, that have the expertise and where the use case are actually fulfilled. When I talk about the IT, it's obviously the special part. It can be the IT, but it can also be a special team that's purpose is to actually launch a conversational AI in the company. So what we see, what happens quite often, is that the team or IT are choosing a technology stack or basically an architecture that should work for the whole company. So they're choosing an NLP service, and what usually happens is that departments cannot work with the technology. And the reason for that is that their needs are not being fulfilled. They're struggling to actually fulfill processes, to actually establish processes when it comes to chatbot operations. However, we believe that there can be a setup where you really can scale your chatbot initiatives. So to do that, to really scale your chatbot initiatives, you really need to take a look at what are the parties' needs, what are the IT needs, and what are the department's needs. So when it comes to the IT and the technology part, for the IT, it's really, really important to be able to, for example, switch between natural language processing services and to not experience a technology lock-in. And also to have APIs to integrate company systems, to add analytics systems, or also have cloud or on-premise services. However, when we look to the department side, they have completely different needs. For departments, it's important to have a human handover tool at their hand, so they can really have human-machine work hand in hand. So if the users are not being helped by the virtual assistant, that human agents can take over, and they can also basically put it back to the chatbot at one point. And what is even more important is a really super easy to use intent management system. We also say content management system. That's the place where departments are able to really manage, add, change, train the chatbot in one place. And what we see at a lot of technology providers is that those intent management systems are still super hard to use. They're having terms like actions and parameters and context, and that's just all super, super complex to understand for those people. So it's really important to have it as simply as possible. Now, when it comes to the virtual assistant, actually, how is the relationship between IT and departments to actually scale those initiatives? So when it comes to the IT, their job is to only set the architecture and the use case by choosing the right technologies that work for the use case. So depending on the use case, they say, okay, we need to use, for example, Rasa or Dialogflow and this analytics service, and for the department, we need to integrate a human handover tool, for example. However, when it comes to the departments, they are responsible to actually bring the virtual assistant into production. So they should be responsible for really evaluating the data, making the chatbot better, and also training and optimizing it. And the only relationship between IT and departments is that IT trained departments really use those tools. I mean, they are new tools, however, they still need to be easy to use for them. Now, this is really important to understand because we believe that conversational AI is going to transform the whole company. It's not a technology like websites and apps that are basically placed in marketing or in the IT development, but it's going to be everywhere in the company. HR wants to use virtual assistant, marketing wants to use it, everyone wants to automate processes and communication. So you really need to think about a setup where collaboration can actually be as smooth as possible. All right, and the last problem that we've identified are really technology choices. So we've seen a lot of companies working on technologies for months and months, and in the end, when it comes to actually releasing the chatbot, they recognize that something is not working, their live chat system cannot be integrated, or there are several other reasons why the technology is not working, and this just happens so often. And I mean, it's super hard because the market is full of so many technology providers and NLP services, and it's really hard to keep the overview and also to invest so much time into evaluating every single provider and seeing what is the best one, where should I put my bet on, who's going to win in the future. It's just super hard, and we do understand that. Now, looking at all those problems after the last 3 years, we thought, okay, we should take on the mission to actually change that and help companies, and especially departments, to bring their chatbots into production. So we developed Botfriends X. It's a conversational middleware platform that brings chatbots really into production. So how do we do that? we really looked at the departments and said, okay, departments have special needs and we really need to fulfill that. So we need to establish an intent management interface where everyone is able to manage the chatbot, to train it in a super easy way, and also have a human handler to always at their hand by just a one-click integration. Now when we look at the IT department, we think it's super important to stay flexible in the architecture, and therefore we function as a middleware. So we integrated all major providers, so we're talking about Dialogflow from Google, but also Rasa, to really stay flexible. We don't want companies to really rely on just one provider, but be able to say one day, okay, we would like to switch all our use case to a different NLP service because we believe it's better now. Now, how does it actually work? It's really a software as a service product where you have an administration interface to really have an overview over all your chatbot initiatives. And there, you can really, by one click, integrate all the systems and services you need. So all the channels where your customers are that are relevant, the NLP services you want, and also different systems like chatbot analytics systems, and also custom integrations like SAP or CRMs. We also look to keep an open API for all other systems to be integrated because we really think that it's super important to have flexible architecture to really integrate the services and technologies you need to really fulfill a great use case. Now we're super excited about Reference X. We think that it's really going to solve problems that are currently still happening. Our mission is to be part of every single enterprise AI being answered in the future. So I hope you will come by at our booth and get your demo accounts because we're handing them out this month. And yeah, I hope you like the presentation and let's chat later. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Great presentation. Great job.